Chapter 17. The Librarian of the Village. The library holds many secrets. Ivako, The War in the Library by Akisapro Yuliovit. Listen, I was curious about something and went upstairs. Dolapalo was sitting on his bed. He saw me inside. "What do you want?" he asked. "You're Mytonis, correct?" I asked. Dolapalo flinched. "Yes." "Thank you, I was curious." I grabbed my cloak and bag. She's Cecily and sent off the library. I found the market without much trouble, and then I did west until I found a snow-covered building made of wood and stone. A wooden sign had been hastily put above the entrance reading "Library" in Draconic. It wasn't nearly as grand as the library in Alder, but it was a library. I entered the library. There were many people inside. As Tolopalo says, there's almost no reason for a library to be in a small border town like this. Behind the front desk sat a friendly-looking elderly Vix. Her fur was light grey, and she was wearing glasses and a very well-embroidered green shirt. The embroidery reminded me of Maman. Made me feel a little sad. She smiled broadly when she saw me. "Talio, Fauskel, do you know what you're looking for?" Footnote. Talio is an unusual Vixic greeting, and Fauskel is Vixic for miss. "Do you have anything on the history of the Arachnis clans? Mito, in particular," I asked. "Ah, yes, they'd be over there." She pointed to her left. "Thank you, Faust." The librarian raised her eyebrows at the title. Also, she was surprised I knew Vixic, or did not get called that very often, or both. I do not know. I walked to where she pointed and began searching the history books. I wanted to know what Tolapolo had been doing before he met him. Why was he so cranky and reluctant? Why did he leave Arachnia? Why specifically come to Vix instead of somewhere closer, like the Commonwealth or Sol, or Powatina, which was partially Arachnis? I found a book called The Clans of Arachnia. It was over half my size and very thick, but that was just how foreign books were. I opened the book and turned to the table of contents. Look through it. There. It was a section on the Mito clan, which was divided into smaller sections of history and politics and geography and culture. I flipped to the history section and then began reading. I skimmed the book until I got to modern history. It was incredibly dense, and it took me a while to find something about Tolapalo, but I did, eventually. He had been a great warrior in his clan. After a battle with the Pranota clan, he left and I haven't been seen since. What exactly happened? Why did he leave? I pushed the book back and found another one about Mytonis' history specifically. Skipped to modern history. It says that he left after a battle with the Pranota clan called the Canyon Skirmish, which was actually much bigger than a skirmish, and had taken place around the same time that Juanca said Tolapalo moved to Inna. Why did he leave after this specific battle? The Pranota clan and the Mito clan are historical rivals. The rivalry is even represented on the flag, but why did this specific one make him leave? And why did Juanca and Sof refuse to find someone else other than him to join us? Why does this library in the middle of nowhere have such current information? I will have to ask them about that later. I continued researching the battle and the Mito clan until the librarian told me that the library was closing. I asked if I could check out the books I'd been reading, and she said I could, seeming very glad to have someone in a library for once. So I did, and returned to the basement. Pavokit. Next day, Athena spent the day in her room, likely poring over all the books she'd got from the library. Luselle-Louce checked on her a few times to see if she found anything reminding her to read and similar things. Sometimes she did not respond at first, and we had to try harder to get her attention. You've been reading all day. Shouldn't you take a break? Luselle-Louce asked. Fine, Athena answered. It was midday, so we ate lunch. Then I started training again. So, did you find anything interesting? Luselle-Louce asked the sister. He left after a battle with the Panopticon, she said. Luselle-Louce frowned. He's Mitternies, right? Athena nodded. Didn't they fight over a bucket once? She nodded again. Many times, Pastor, but I mean, to be fair, we had a civil war and a revolution over a disagreement over apples. My question is, why would he leave after this specific battle? Panopta and Mito fight a lot, so what sets this battle apart from all the others? He was a great warrior, but I want to know why Franklin and Syl did not just try to get training from someone who is less reluctant. This is Vix. There are likely plenty of people who would be more willing to teach a couple of weaker rebels to fight, she answered. How long ago was the battle? A long time ago. Not long after the Iron War. This sounds interesting. How did it happen? I don't know. But I intend to find out. Till Apollo came down and just watched Juanca and Syl. Syl with his sneak attacks on his sister, and Juanca using her long weapons and skills, and as well as her knowledge of her opponent to her advantage. And they got into an argument, of course, over something petty about something that had happened several years ago involving snowballs and precep. Athena and Luselle-Louce shot 2 arrows between them. Stop fighting! That happened a long time ago. Probably, said Luselle-Louce. They stopped trying to kill each other, but they still looked grumpy. Well, I think if I've had enough training, you can leave tomorrow. Spirits, this is the part where I get killed, but I also want you out. Make sure to tell my wife I love her or something, said Apollo. He is married? You're married? Juanca asked. Apollo raised an eyebrow, or the Arachne's equivalent at least. Yes. You didn't know that? Athena said. She shook her head. Luselle-Louce looked just as confused. How'd you know? Undo? Apollo rolled his eyes and muttered something in dialect. Is our way glasses? Unmarried men only wear a tunic, Athena said. Juanca frowned. Not all Arachnes men wear a toga? Apollo sighed. No, we don't. And not all women wear a stole and a pala. Why do some still think that? Athena nodded. He waved dismissively. Now go buy food or something. We got our cloaks and our weapons and set out. Found the market and started looking for food. Just some of the posters Athena said that listed wanted criminals now had faces on them. Resembled us. Well, really lonely me. They were terrible drawings. Actually, most of the posters had bad drawings because, surprisingly, finding good descriptions of people actively trying to avoid detection is difficult. Also, mine was the only one with a name. Morella. Juan, I told you that was a bad idea, Athena said. She shrugged. It's gonna happen someday, and say any good drawings. Anyway, half the people in this town are wanted criminals. That doesn't change the fact that openly admitting to committing crimes is a bad idea, she said. I get it. Now what are we gonna do about it? She said, as terrible of an idea as it is, we should avoid traveling together. And for tears' sake, don't admit to being a wanted criminal. We got the food and returned. Footnote, Tears the spirit of knowledge.